Realme is back with their second generation Narzo series, and this time around, they have three variants on offer. It seems like the number of phones Realme launches just keeps going up and up. Any which ways, they've got the Narzo 20A, the Narzo 20, and a Pro variant of the Narzo. That's the Narzo 20 Pro, which is the phone we are going to be unboxing today. So let's go ahead, be done with the unboxing, and take a close look at what is it that Realme have to offer with their Pro variant. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do end up finding this video interesting, please subscribe and turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get started. We have the regular yellow box from Realme with the name and branding on top. The sides have more of the same. To the bottom we have a sticker, and the listed price here is 19,000. Generally the sticker price is way higher than what they actually price the phone at. So yeah, it's not gonna be 19,000, it's definitely gonna be cheaper. Now, apart from this, to the back of the box, we have the spec highlights. This here is the Ninja Black option. Opening up the lid, we have a yellow insert. This holds a soft silicone case as well as some paperwork. And then we have the star of the show, the Narzo 20 Pro, all wrapped up in a protective plastic film. Taking that off, and the sticker to the back as well. This black finish, it's quite reflective, but hey, this is the kind of back that works these days. It kind of wants you to take notice. It turns heads, so to say. So that's probably why all brands keep going with it, despite the glossy plastic actually being very fingerprint prone. So can't really blame Realme for it, but I'm not a huge fan. This actually reminds me of Honor's V series phones. I think it was the V20. But that was glass and this is plastic. Any which ways, if you also kind of were reminded of the V20, leave a comment down below. Let me know I wasn't alone in seeing the resemblance here. Moving on, we have a 65-watt supercharged charger in the box, and then there's a SIM ejector tool and your regular USB Type-C cable. So now that we've taken a look at the box contents, let's get back to the Narzo 20 Pro. Now this plastic body, it kind of reminds me of the Realme 7, the camera bump and all that. But of course, the back, the design is different. It's got that V pattern for it, but it's still plastic, glossy plastic. So like I said, very fingerprint prone, which is why, I actually have this between shots. I keep wiping it. Otherwise I can't really hold it in hand. It's gonna very easily look like this. So that aside, the in-hand feel is actually quite good. And one of the pros of going with plastic is that Realme has managed to keep the weight down. It's around the 190 gram mark. Most of the phones these days we see they're over the 200 gram mark. So this feels quite a bit lighter in comparison. And the button placements too, they are pretty optimal. To the right, we've got the power button with the embedded fingerprint scanner. This one is pretty fast and quick. Up top, well, there's nothing. There's no secondary noise cancelling microphone here. Now to the left, we've got a triple card slot, the volume keys. Again, this is all what we've seen with the Realme 7 series. So nothing very new. So to the bottom, we've got the headphone jack, the primary microphone, USB Type-C port, and the speaker. To the front, we have probably the biggest upgrade with this phone, the display. Now this is still a 6.5-inch panel. It's still IPS LCD, but this time they've moved from HD Plus to Full HD Plus. And not just that, the refresh rate, that's also gone up to 90 Hz. Again, I keep saying this over and over again, there are brands who have launched phones at around the 90,000 rupee mark with 60 Hz panels. And now we've got this with the 90 Hz panel. I'm just saying, as always, let's not go there. Coming back, they've also done away with the water drop notch, and in its place, we have a punch hole. This is present to the top left. And what's inside this punch hole? The same old camera that we've been seeing since the Realme X. It's the Sony IMX471 sensor, 16 megapixels. There's absolutely nothing new I can talk about this. I have covered this selfie camera on so many phones that I've actually lost count. It is a competent selfie shooter. There's nothing too special about it, nothing to crib about. So with that said, let's move on. Coming back to the display, the colors, the viewing angles, they are quite good. And there were no brightness issues either. Outside, under direct sunlight, I would say this display was perfectly legible. So the Realme Narzo 20 Pro, it kind of feels more Realme 7 than Realme 6. And this is reflected in the internals as well. We've got the Helio G95 chip, and if the Realme 7's performance is anything to go by, I expect great performance from the Narzo 20 Pro as well. Now, gaming's been a cornerstone with the Narzo series. That's something that Realme is always focused on, or at least that's what they say they're focusing on with the Narzo phones. And here, the Mali GPU inside, it seems to handle pretty much what's thrown at it quite easily. We did manage to test out a few games and they ran smooth. And the 90Hz refresh is a positive, and so is the 120Hz touch sampling rate. Of course, it's going to take more testing, but I'm quite bullish on the gaming experience being good here. Other specs include 6 or 8 gigs of LPDDR4X RAM coupled with 64 or 128 gigs of UFS 2.1 storage. As we already saw, there is microSD expansion available, dedicated microSD, so that is a pro. So from everything we've seen so far, if you're thinking this is just a rebranded Realme 7, just like what Redmi loves to do, the Redmi, the Pocos, all the rebrands that we've been seeing, you wouldn't be entirely wrong. It's got a different back panel, that's one thing. Another difference here, it has another difference. The battery capacity, that's actually 500 milliamp hour lesser than what we had on the Realme 7. So it is a kind of downgrade, but they've compensated for it with the charging. They've got a 65 watt charger included in the box. And guys, right now we are seeing brands who are selling very expensive products start to omit the charger. And Realme is including a 65 watt charger with something like the Narzo 20 Pro. So that's quite nuts. If this supercharged charging is what sets the Narzo 20 Pro apart from the other Realme phones, then what kind of brings them all together is Realme UI. As expected, we've got the usual Realme bells and whistles. So the dark mode is present. So are the usual customization options. We have Realme Lab. Guys, the Narzo 20 Pro comes with this option called smooth scrolling. And I really think this is one that should be turned on by default. The phone's just way snappier with this option turned on. So hey, I don't see why it's an option to begin with. We also have a super nighttime standby, and that's an amazing feature. Not really, I really don't know what they are doing with it. I'm gonna have more to say in the full review. So let's go ahead and test that before we talk about it. So far, we've seen a lot of similarities with the Realme 7. But when it comes to optics, the Narzo 20 Pro has a bit to share with the Narzo 10. The primary sensor is 48 megapixels. It's paired with the f1.8 lens. It takes good looking shots as long as you can get enough light to that sensor. Of course, it's no IMX682, but the level of detail, the colors, they all were quite good. I would say my initial impressions have been predominantly positive. There's also the chroma boost option and a dedicated night mode that we've been seeing with other Realme phones. They're also present and accounted for here. Moving on to the other cameras, we've got an 8 megapixel ultra wide and 2 megapixel macro and depth sensors, the ones that brands use just to say we've got a quad camera. Realme's done the same thing here with the Narzo 20 Pro as well. So that's pretty much it for a first look at the Narzo 20 Pro. This seems to be a Frankenstein of a phone. It's got the display and the internals of a Realme 7. It's got the charging speeds of a 7 Pro. The cameras it shares more with the Narzo 10. So it seems like Realme's taken a bit of all these phones and put it together and created this Frankenstein of a phone. So what are they going to be pricing it at? Well, I do not have an answer to that. As always, I don't have an answer to that because hey, I am shooting this at 2 a.m. on September 18th. So it's under embargo. They've not told me the price, but by the time you guys are watching this video, you would know the price. If I were to guess, I'd say it should come in at 16,000-17,000 rupees. Be priced somewhere between the Realme 7 and the 7 Pro. That I feel would be optimal for this. But like I said, you guys would know the pricing by the time you're watching this video. So you tell me, what do you think about the price? Do you think Realme's done a good job? Do you feel Realme should have done something different? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, we arrive at the end of this unboxing and it is time for me to bid you adieu. Thanks a lot for your time. If you did end up liking this video, you know what to do. Also subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching Safe for Retech and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.